So it kind of has, it's kind of a shorter style, but it's kind of got some movement or some volume to it. But it's specifically of a darker variety. Just a little bit pleasantly plump. And she just has this amazing feeling of pride for like her loved ones. Like she just feels so proud. That's one of the primary emotions she's bringing through. Just trying to move her forward a little bit. So she has some lifeline. She's got some age in her face. I'm going to put her upwards of mid-60s. And I will say too, with physical description, they're dropping into an incarnation for us. So their physical description is kind of like their interpretation of what they look like. It's going to be typically pretty true to life, but there might be some subtle differences, and they can also choose an age that's younger to come in at if they didn't feel connected to their body at the time of passing. So this spirit is coming in that kind of like mid-60s, late 60s time frame, but she has the darker hair that's kind of faded, graying a little bit, and she has like a perfume smell to her too. Almost smells like a little bit floral. And then she is drawing attention to her rings, which is usually symbolic of someone has their rings, or that their wedding or their marriage was important to them. But she has very kind eyes. The hairstyle might be a little bit longer or like pulled back. It looks a little bit longer as she's getting closer. But she kind of has like plump cheeks, but she just is very, very smiley. Can you recognize the spirit so far?
I was thinking maybe my grandmother, but the only thing is she has lighter hair. But I did bring one of her rings. So,
okay. Interesting. So let's play it out. Let's see how it goes.
On my mom's side of the family, on my dad's side of the family, she did have darker hair, but she was on the skinnier side, and I have no reference to rings as much.
Okay. So you might have like a blending happening here. So sometimes if they try to all get through at once, they get a little bit discombobulated. Mm-hmm. So let's have them just chill and just kind of separate out a little bit, and we'll make sure that we have the right one. Is the one, so I want to focus on that ring piece. Mm-hmm. So with the rings, is there like a lot of like kitchen energy and like noises in the kitchen and like food smells with her? Like was she?
Yes.
Okay.
This is my mom's side that we're talking about.
Yes, with the rings, right?
Okay. If there was one of the other to come through, it would definitely be on my mom's side.
Okay. So we'll have the dark hair piece step into their own little kind of compartment. So the secondary grandmother smushing in, we'll have her step back, and we can come back to her later. But I want to kind of pull in this other one here. Is it more of a like a medium blonde to light brown color?
Yeah.
But it's almost is a little bit like ashy looking?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Is there someone who's talked about getting a tattoo in her honor? Does someone have a tattoo in her honor?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Let's see, what does she want to bring through? Did she just find a lot of magic in life? Does that make sense? Like, she makes me feel like she just had a really beautiful way of connecting to the world, and like a beautiful way of seeing things, and like a really beautiful kind of perspective on things. Specifically what she was showing me is, you know how like when you have like a beautiful like kind of green, not like an evergreen, but like one of the softer looking ones, and it's like snow covered like right now. But like just she would show me like the beauty in that, or the magic in that, that like yes, we can be like, oh, here's the snow again, but she's just like, do you see how beautiful this is? So to me, what I'm seeing from that is like just that she kind of found the beauty in things, or kind of found like the magic or the joy in things.
For sure.
And just coming back to the food piece, like feeding her family with love, like it feels like she can put out a spread, and she's good at it.
Yeah.
And she knows she's good at it too.
Yeah.
Does she have like handwritten recipe cards?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, we have a bunch of those.
She
that
loves
we kept.
those. Like she's so. It sounds kind of silly, but she's like, if there's anything that I'm proud of that I left behind, like it's those.
Yeah.
I mean, what she means by that is like, yes, the rings are great, or like, yes, the little, knick-knack things are great, but like, she put so much love into all of her food, and she made her family happy with those things like again and again and again. Like, those recipes are symbolic of like a beautiful lifetime together. So she's so grateful that you guys have those like in her hand. Like, there's magic in that. So definitely like cooking those and like keeping those recipes alive in the family. So showing me taking cigarette and like smushing out. So it could be a sign that she smokes cigarettes, but also when they smush out could be a sign that they want someone to quit.
Yeah, she did smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Did she have a cough that came with that?
So I want to say that I was 6, maybe 8 years old, but I can imagine yes,
Okay.
but I can't say for, like.
She shows me like smushing out and then like covering.
Yeah,
it.
I can imagine that. She
little
smoked
bit.
her whole entire life, so yes, I could picture that.
Was reading really important to her? She's showing me books. They look like children's books, but like books.
We have a lot of her books too.
Perfect.
Like a lot of her books.
Like these are all the ways that she connects to you guys. Like when you guys connect to these pieces of her, like you're physically interacting with her energy. And in that way, it's that reminder that like no one's ever truly gone.
For sure.
That when we can keep them alive in these ways.
For sure.
Did she have? I'm curious if we're moving towards other grandma now. Or if we're still kind of working with this one. She's showing me strong connection with male. So did she have a strong connection with your father as well? Because I almost feel like that other grandmother's kind of stepping in a little bit now too.
She didn't, but my dad and like her and his mom were very, very close. So there's like a couple of strong. I mean, she had a son. My mom's Nana.
Okay.
So we can say Nana Hale and Nana Carbonell.
Okay.
Nana Hale is my mom's side of the family.
Perfect. So
Nana Hale had, she was with her husband her whole entire life, and her son passed, and that was very devastating for her.
Okay.
But definitely Nana Carbonell, and she gave my mom like a pretty tough time when she came into my dad's life because I was her baby boy. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Nana Hale. Is there cards with Nana Hale? Like playing cards?
There's cards with Nana Carbonell.
Okay, so I think Nana Carbonell is stepping in.
Okay. I'm surprised. She's not the type who would.
So I think that they kind of came in together, and now that we've been kind of talking with Nana Hale for a minute, she's like, but actually, wait, I'm still here. So, like, you sit over there with your boy and your cards for a second, like, just in your dark hair. You just hang out. So over here, is there, like, churchy connection?
They were both sides.
So, let's see. And Nana Hale's big message would just be like, obviously still with your family. She makes me feel like something that's really powerful for her is like she has so much focus and energy on your mom, but I mean, you already validated that your uncle passed, so that would be, of course, kind of where she directed a lot of that focus and attention, but also just in the sense of showing me like my grandmother and my mother and me and then my girls, like there's this really strong female lineage and that she's just really proud of, like this, her daughter, her baby with you, and like this strong female energy. And so she's showing that piece, and then she's showing me too
that she's proud of my mom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not so much the pride piece as she's well, I mean, of course our family is proud of us, but I mean more so she thinks the female lineage piece is beautiful.
Gotcha.
Like
yes.
Like that female piece, like having a daughter is just really beautiful, and like seeing that live on.
We do have, like, the first, like, female on the Hale side is named, like, whatever Jean, A. Jean. Like, my sister's Amber Jean. We had Adrian Jean. Yeah, and Andrea Jean. So, yeah, so we were definitely all about that, and she started that, so.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, like, that strong, like, female lineage. And name passed on is beautiful testament to that, too, because we have those also in ours. So when they show those things, that female lineage or that name passed on, like, it's just showing that there's so much, like, honor passed through the family in that way. So I want to just see, like, with you two, education's really important to her, and she just, like, she's showing me, there was just so many, like, so much fewer opportunities for her, and, like, she loved her life, and, like, her raising her family, like, that was her big, like, joy in life, or her big want to do in life. Like, she, you know, she definitely wanted that kind of, like, beautiful little, like, family, like, story, like, American dream. Like, that was kind of her desire. And then she shows me too, like, but for you guys, watching you guys grow up and the empowerment that comes now is really incredible. And she's just showing, like, using the word education and empowerment, also, like, enlightenment. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are doing more on, like, the spiritual enlightenment side of things, but, like, just the personal growth journeys that she's kind of watched you guys go on has been really kind of remarkable, if that makes sense. So just watching you guys grow and kind of taking advantage of the opportunities that you have in your lives that are different than she had in her life, and big spirit goosebumps and hugs on that. Like, she's really like, for you and your sister, but, like, for you specifically, like, really proud, and her big message for you would really be, like, keep going. So I'm just going to give you what she's giving me, and you can see if it resonates with you or it doesn't. She's showing me, like, really high aspirations, like, really high, like, dreams or things that you're aspiring to or things that you're kind of thinking about, but also, like, selling yourself short in that way. So you might have this idea or dream that's up here, and then you kind of come down to something more practical, or somebody around you kind of like, well, maybe you can start here, or here's this other piece. And she just kind of, she's showing you, like, you really need to stay high with it, though. Like, keep going to that high place of aspiration, because she really believes that you can. Like, you can get there, you can do that. For you, like, for her, the message would be, like, the sky's the limit. Like, you really have this ability and this gift to really follow these big dreams. And, like, huge spirit goosebumps on that. Like, keep moving upwards with that. And then I want to see, so that would kind of be for you and your sister message-wise. And then also sends flowers. So, I mean, could have connected with flowers, could have...
Yeah, she loved
like,
flowers.
Perfect. Oftentimes with flowers, too, especially in my family, when they show flowers, but you already validated family name. So, because I have a Rose, and then I'm Carolyn Rose, and my girls are Raylan Rose and Rachel Rose. So, flowers can be, like, beautiful sign of affection, could have loved flowers, in addition to family name, things like that. So, and then for your mom, let's see, what does she want to bring through for mom? Did she have really high expectations of mom? Does that make sense?
Well, my mom did drop out of college, so, and I don't think we ever really spoke about it.
She makes me feel like she feels, so I'm just gonna, and you can pass this on to mom if you want, or whatever, and she can kind of see if it resonates for her. So when I try to ask her about your mom, she shows me that she feels like, so Nana Hale feels like that she was too hard on your mom, or that she made your mom feel, not necessarily judged, but, like, made your mom feel, like pressure to get it right, or,
I could see that.
And so it wasn't that she meant to, it was just that she wanted what was best for her. And especially after other son passed, didn't really know what to do with all of that, anxious energy is the word that she's using. So it kind of, like, got doubly put onto your mom. So it makes me feel like there was a little bit of a strain on that relationship because of that, but that she really loves your mother. and she's sorry for any pressure that she put on in that way. And she just really wants your mom to be happy. Like, just joy is the word that's coming up for your mom. Joy.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Nana Carbonell,
Mm-hmm.
is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the... Is she also a smoker?
No.
Okay. But does she have a raspier voice, though?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't know.
The voice I'm hearing is almost a little bit more of, like, a smoker voice sound. So let's see here. So we definitely have...
Well, I do know another smoker who has a raspy voice.
Oh,
so.
does she have the dark hair and the cards?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Okay. And the Sun connection?
Yeah, she
Meaningful
lived in
man?
the sun, that kind of sun. She has she has a son and a daughter, actually.
Okay. So
Or maybe just a son.
Let's see. So we have the smoky, raspy voice. Does that one also have a church connection?
Yep, she grew up pretty religiously.
Okay. Okay. And you already validated South. Let's see. Did you say that one has a daughter too? There's female she depends on. Younger female she depends on or relies on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was his wife, her son's wife, was always in the picture, and she basically took care of
Was
her.
she like the
Yeah.
caregiver? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like there's a lot of reliance there. Is she like... She's funny though.
Yeah.
She's like a whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Like she's funny and she's...
Yeah, that's my Aunt Eunice.
She's not always like the nicest funny.
No.
Sometimes she's mean
Rude,
funny.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, and she doesn't really like mean to be
No,
mean,
things just come out.
but it just kind of comes out sometimes.
Yeah.
And she makes me feel like she only picks on you when she loves you. You know, like it's that kind of thing where like if she's being mean to you, it's because she likes you. If she was, you know, she didn't talk to you, didn't want to be around you, then like you would also know. So she just
For
showed
sure.
me that like, yeah, she was a little bit hard to sometimes, or a little rough around the edges sometimes, but she was really like kind of a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
You know, that she
I
had
always
a
thought
really
she
good
was
heart.
funny. She did.
And that she was funny, and she never meant to be mean. She just didn't really have a ton of filter.
Mhm.
And she said she didn't give a shit what people thought about her.
No.
Like and she's like, but honestly, like that's how we should live our lives.
For sure.
She makes me feel like she had fun with life.
She did.
You know, and that she just didn't take a lot of shit. Like, this was just who she was. And she makes me feel like, I don't know if you're in contact with the daughter-in-law or with the female who was taking care of her or not, or if you can pass the message on, but she's saying thank you to her and, like, a little bit of, like, an I'm sorry energy, not apologizing for herself or her behavior, but she would have liked to express more gratitude while in person with her. Lots of gratitude for her, but also she's not one that liked to be nurtured or taken care of. She didn't do the taken care of piece well.
For sure.
And so she's just making me feel like she wasn't always the easiest charge.
No.
So, but in like the daughter-in-law, like, or the female who's taking care of her, like had her work like kind of cut out for her. So just kind of saying like thank you for that, and also sorry for not making it any easier on you. So that would kind of be her big message. But like honestly, for you, it's just this piece of like have more fun with life and don't care so much what other people think about you. And like speak your truth. Like don't bite your tongue so much. Like don't be afraid to speak your truth and like say how you're feeling about things. So she's kind of honoring you or offering you that gift of like being a little bit more free with yourself in this lifetime. And also showing me starfish for some reason. Starfish. But also like lived in Florida. So by the ocean.
For sure, maybe.
But also thinking of like starfish as a connection tool for her probably. So if you come across a starfish and you know, unexpectedly in like a show or a commercial or a movie, or you're thinking about her and a starfish pops up, you know, those are great ways to connect with her or have a message from her or honor her. So I want to see if we can get to the other Nana here. And then the raspy voice one just goes like, and send my love to your families. And then raspy voice. She's thinking of your family and sending her love. So was the Nana with the dark hair more reserved?
Yes.
And like just more proper? Does that make sense? Like kind of prim and proper.
Yes.
And she just makes me feel like she's doing this a lot. Like she has this very like pulled in energy.
Yes.
She wasn't super nurturing, like loved very deeply, but just didn't express it in the same ways as others. Like Nana Hale feels much warmer and like nurturing and cooking and food, and this one, even though she's funny, even though she's a little bit mean sometimes, like she has a warmth to her.
She does.
Whereas this one doesn't have a ton of warmth to her.
Yeah.
So this Nana Carbonneau. So she makes me feel like she did what was expected of her in life. Like she got married because she was expected to. She wasn't. She wasn't unhappy in her marriage. It wasn't a super warm marriage either, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But also, like, she was a super warm person. So it was more so. She just didn't connect very warmly in her relationships. There wasn't. She connected more in the space of like. Because she needed to, or because it was expected, or because that's what you were supposed to do, if that makes sense. So, but with her, she just wants to show that like even though she wasn't always emotionally communicative, it didn't mean that she wasn't, or like affectionate. It didn't mean that she wasn't loving towards her family. She wanted people to know that like even if those pieces weren't quite there in the way that they would expect them, it doesn't lessen her love for them. It's just how she experienced it differently. So one of the things that she wants to bring through is that I'm just picturing Dad listening to this later. So with her, very much so love for her family, but it wasn't easy for her to express that. It just wasn't like she just didn't learn that. So I don't know if her family was kind of a little bit on the reserve side too, but she's showing that growing up, raising a family, being a little bit more of a reserved person. Emotions weren't super talked about or like open or welcome, which she shows me has affected Dad at this point, where he struggles a little bit more with communicating about emotions or talking about his feelings and things like that. And she's just showing that like it's also okay to heal in those ways. So just because that's how something was, her big lesson in this lifetime, coming from her childhood and going into how she raised her family and going into adulthood, her big lesson, something that she would have did differently, showing me one of the cards in here, if I only knew then what I know now, I would have lived differently. What she would have done differently is stepped out of her comfort zone more in those ways. So even though it was uncomfortable to talk about feelings or to be kind of huggy or touchy-feely with people, she would have tried a little bit more, because it's those things that make a lasting impression on people. It's those special conversations or those, hugs. So just showing for Dad, it's okay to step out of your comfort zone in those ways, and she would have did it a little bit differently going back. So encouraging him that like if he wants to explore doing it differently, now he has that opportunity. And just like I think more so as a family message too, for the ones that she affected in that way. Before we go to the next one, is there anything that you want to connect with one of these three lovely ladies on?
I think I heard everything from them. Yeah.
Okay. So from Nana Hale.
I was gonna say if anything, maybe more from Nana Hale, but I'd also like to see more of what else would come through.
Okay. So Nana Hale says, interestingly enough, one of the cards that came up from Nana Hale, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and then also we'll be together again. So if I'm tuning in with her and asking her what that's about, for her, it's a longevity piece, that she's sorry that she couldn't be there longer to watch her family kind of grow up.
Okay.
But reminding people too, she's also showing me hawks. She comes through like hawks and high-flying birds, and she comes through, and she's showing me like specifically like weddings, like that she's still very much so a part of like family activities or will be a part of family activities. And then from Nana Carbonneau,